Winter is a time to slow down. The garden is taking a break, there are fewer hours of sunlight, and at least here in Canada, there's this general feeling of almost like hunkering down. When I think of winter, I think of snow and cold, but also of being cozy. And as a homemaker, I want my home to be cozy, to be warm, and to be comfortable. Some homemaking tasks just have to be done year-round, so things like the laundry needs to be done a few times a week. However, the way the laundry is dried changes for us in the wintertime. Instead of putting as much as we can on our line outside to dry, we now hang the clothes in front of our wood stove. So we usually rotate the rack, like every time we put a new log in, so everything has a chance to be close to the heat. And then as clothes dry, we take them off and we spread out whatever's remaining so that they can dry. We do still use the dryer, but only for items that are like really thick or just certain materials that we know are going to take a long time to dry. Other homemaking tasks do completely change. So while in the summer and early fall, I'm processing and preserving what we either have grown or what we're able to buy that's in season, come winter and spring that changes, and I'm working on using up what we've already preserved and making sure that none of it goes to waste. Chopping and then freezing jalapenos and celery has worked so well for us this winter. We haven't had to purchase either of these from the store yet. We also just recently finished all of the fresh carrots from our garden, so now we're starting to use the ones that I chopped or I shredded and then I froze. So far they're working out really great, so for things like soups or using them in baking. These are water glassed eggs, which means that they have been preserved in pickling lime. They're not pickled, they're just preserved. These are eggs from our chickens back in April of 2024. Unfortunately, you can tell from the color of this jar, or I could tell that it had a broken egg in it, which I'm pretty sure I did just as I was carrying it up the stairs because it did not look like this on the shelf when I picked it up. Typically, I would just leave the jar on the counter and take out the eggs that I need as I need them. But now, because there is a broken one, I'm gonna have to wash all the eggs and then I'll put them in the fridge. I'll just use containers that are marked so that we know that they're water glass ones. These I primarily use for like baking or dishes like quiche that I'm making. I definitely do more baking in the wintertime as well. Without the garden and canning demanding like most of my attention, I have more time to bake. And whether it's making weekly bread for my family, making treats like cookies, or even pizza for dinner, it all helps to warm up the kitchen as well, which is really nice. With the slower times, winter is also an opportunity for me to work on different skills and new skill sets and bringing those into my homemaking. I shared in a previous video that this year I really wanted to learn how to mill whole grains, how to cook with them, and how to incorporate them into our food. And so that's what I am learning right now. I'm trying to be patient with myself because it is a learning curve, but I'm also taking time to learn about companion planting and different varieties in which seeds I should plant, so that as I prepare to plant seeds and to plant my garden, I am learning what I can now to be successful for later. Winter is also a time to process any of the extras that are in the freezer as well. So I'm just starting to work through the chicken carcasses from when we processed our meat birds in the summertime. I start by cooking 4 of them at a time in water with some bay leaves, and I do that overnight in my big roaster oven. Then I take the remaining meat off the bones and put the bones back in and let them cook through till to the evening time. At that point, I either can the broth or pressure can it to make it shelf stable, or I leave it in the fridge. We've been using our broth to cook rice in for this past year in order to add flavor, but also to add nutrition. And so having broth in the fridge is pretty typical for us these days. I often like to make a hot drink or a warm drink in the afternoon. As I don't drink tea or coffee, I have hot chocolate. I have tried so hard to like herbal tea, but I have yet to find one that I actually enjoy drinking and can actually drink a whole cup of. If you have a suggestion for me, something that's got no caffeine in it, that's got no green leaf or black leaf tea leaf in there, leave it in the comment section for me because I really do want to like tea. But anyways, for now I just drink hot chocolate. And as homeschooling is a major focus of my time during the winter, cuddling up under a blanket on the couch, reading to the kids with my hot drink and the fire going in the wood stove, it fills that desire to have a cozy home all winter long.